Like a Mexican stuff, man.
Yeah? Yeah?
Perfect. So cool, man.
Just talking about the seat covers. We have a Dodge Ram. This is something that Dodge should just be ashamed of. They should be so ashamed. I mean, look, what the heck? Look at that. That's the dash. I mean, seriously? How's that even safe? Anyways, we have a radio to put in it. He's just going with a basic Bluetooth Mechaless radio. The dash, that's so bad. So we're gonna get this thing wired up, put in Bluetooth mic. Of course, you know, this is the dash itself. Yeah, the only place where there's a clip that stayed is on the broken piece. We actually tried to put some tape on there to hold the thing together as we were taking it apart. That was futile. Now we'll show you, once we get in there, I'll show you how to mount the radio, because these are those 2-tab mounting things where there's like a top and a corner. Of course, it rocks a lot. So we'll show you what we do to keep that thing straight. Typically, if you just put these 2 screws in, as you can see, it's gonna wobble a little bit. What we need to do is we need to put a screw here that'll hold this piece right here in place. And there's a hole, there's already this tab here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drill a hole here so that that'll hold this side. So now we have 2 screws over here, and one here, and that'll hold this corner here. And what we need to do is down here, there's a screw right here. We're gonna go ahead and make an L bracket that'll go up into the inside of this kit and then attach to this so that that'll hold this corner in place. And then we'll glue it into the kit so that it doesn't want to move also. Now for this, we're just gonna use some random scrap.
Look at that. See?
Alright, so there you go. So now you have that dash kit mounted in there nice and secure. It's probably the most secure thing in this truck. Grab the radio.
This truck is gonna hold wire, but not the radio. Hell no, buddy.
It's correct.
Mine.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, fall apart. What about the radio? No, the radio's still there.
Alright, there we go. Alright guys, and that's a Dodge Ram. How exciting is that? I know, right?
So excited.
Yes.
Okay, you now stop the camera. The camera is there.
Oh. Got it. Alright, so next on the list of cars to do is a Toyota 4Runner. What we're doing to this is we are adding in a Kicker CXA 1201. This guy right here. It's a big amp. This amp is going to power some Kicker Comp R's, factory box. Guy wants more sound. Now this particular 4Runner has the JBL system in it. So what we've just done is we've removed the whole rear side panel. Let's go take a look. So there's the side panel for the car. These are the rear seats. This has 3rd row seats, more pieces for the car, and a Fernando. So the JBL amplifier is located right here next to the subwoofer. It is on its own little plug, this guy right here, which just so happens to be a standard Toyota 761 harness. So we're actually able to make a T-harness, so we can plug into this and not have to cut this plug or that plug. So that's kind of cool. The plan is to mount the amp underneath this driver's front seat. Surprisingly, there's a lot of room there. Along with our high level to low level adapter, we're gonna run the wires, speaker wires out, around, down, somewhere in here. And then because he's got the 3rd row seat, he's just gonna leave that folded down. That's his call, not ours. We're just gonna have the wire come out of this pocket here is kind of the plan. That way, if he wants to take the subwoofer out to use the third row seat, he can just tuck all the wiring back into there and it won't get in the way of anything. Sound like a working theory?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, we'll go with its plan. So that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna go next door and grab the harnesses so we can do the T-harness. Fernando is gonna start doing his favorite thing, which is building that cool amp board. Then we'll start running some wires, get this thing all hooked up. And yeah, you saw the car parked out there, this one. That's just a radio swap. He's got an Alpine in it. We're just gonna put another Alpine in it, so it's really not all that exciting. So we don't, it's why it's out there. Probably won't even see it. Total bummer, right?
No.
Yeah, exactly, no. We're gonna get to working on this. Might take a break to do that, don't know. We'll kind of see how this one pans out. We just wanted to get this thing apart because it's brand new 2017. We've never seen one. Now we have. So what we're looking for here is these two harnesses, the BHA 1761 and the BHO 1761. The BHO is the one that's gonna plug into the factory amp. The BHA is what you'd use if you were replacing your radio. This is what's gonna plug into the factory harness. So now what we wanna do is get the two of these open. And there's certain wires on this that are not going to be part of the speaker. They just need to be soldered together to make the T-harness. So I'm gonna walk back there real quick, see which ones need to be connected together, and then we'll just solder those up, and then we'll have the wires output that'll go to our high level to low level. So what we wanna do is plug into the output side. This is the side going to the speakers. So we'll plug into that. We'll go ahead and test our wires. We have 4 wires over here, a pink, a white, a black, and a blue. We have these, which are gray, gray, black. They don't necessarily correspond to these colors. We have to find that out. And for that, we're gonna use this cool 9-volt. We'll go ahead and take the gray, black and put it to the black of the 9-volt, and we'll pop it. And the speaker is moving out. So that means gray, black is negative. Now let's try the white. All right, there we go. So it is moving out. So all we have to do now is solder some wires onto these, lengthen them so they can get up underneath the seat, plug this into the amp, and our harness will be ready. So the wires we're not gonna need is this blue and this black. So we're gonna go ahead and depin those out of the harness. And we'll do the same on the other harness. Now on a 1761, it does this silly blue loop here. And what we actually need is this wire, this short wire. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull both of these out and we're gonna cut off this silly little pigtail. We'll go ahead and put that back in the location that we need. And it sits in there far enough so we don't have to worry about what you just cut off getting in the way of anything. Now what we need to do is just connect these 4 wires together and we'll have the beginnings of our T-harness. All right, so we have this portion of the T-harness. Now this is this end here. This is gonna plug into the amplifier. This is what we're gonna hook our high level to low level up to. This is going off to the subwoofer. We're not actually gonna need these wires because we're not retaining the factory subwoofer. We'll go ahead and pull these wires out of the harness. And just like the last one, we'll go ahead and save these wires that we're pulling out. That way, if we ever get another one of these in, or like a situation like the last one where we needed extra wiring, we'll have them. If you wanna get yourself a cool set of pin extraction tools like these, head over to Dean and Fernando's tool drawer at dnftooldrower.com. There you can find links to all the tools that we use in our day-to-day. So we went ahead and twisted up some left and right speaker wire where you got it all covered in some Temflex because it's got to run from the front of the car to the back of the car. So we have plenty of it to do that, as you can see. I'm gonna go ahead and get this over to Fernando. We're gonna do some of this for the speaker wire. So for this, we're gonna run some 10 gauge Stinger speaker wire, but what we want to do first is go ahead and cover it there again in some more Temflex so that it is nice and protected and, well, quite frankly, just looks real sexy. All right, so we run the 10 gauge through the sleeve. We've gone ahead and put on some fork terminals. Now we're just gonna go ahead and solder this up. All right, so we have our speaker wire all set, ready to go. I'm gonna go get this over to Fernando so he can get it hooked up on the amp. managed to get our wires run back here. That's these here. Now we're gonna go ahead and solder these guys up. So we've gone ahead and plugged in. We plugged in the other side. This aspect of the install is done. We're gonna go ahead and start putting this side panel back in and getting the rest of this car all put back together. And then we get to test bump it. So there's the fuse holder, all wired up, ready to go. There's the amplifier, all tucked up nice up underneath the seat. And then from the back side, so the arms that are sticking off of it, they were made to go into the holes here, so the bolts will go through there and then through over here, and that'll hold the amplifier in place so we're not screwing through the floor or anything like that. Let's take a listen. All right guys, there you go. There's a Toyota 4Runner, a little bit of bass, not bad. On to the next one.